that partnership with TrueMed or whatever is what allows it to show up on a statement as a
personal training or something.
Well, like a medical, like a necessary medical reason.
I just don't understand how it's not already. Like we have all of these medicines and whatever they want to put people on, doctors, when the fundamentals aren't even being covered. And we talk about that in like rodeo and anything else. I know it's the money for sure. It's definitely follow the money. You'll see where it's all coming from. But like at the very root of the issues that we have in healthcare, not like as an organization, but as people, right? Health wise, usually comes from lack of fitness and
personal training is preventative medicine.
It is 100%.
But modern medicine isn't preventative. It doesn't care about preventing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
American modern medicine, Western modern medicine.
It's just reactionary. So we want to give it a name and give it a pill. Give it a name, give it a pill. Give it a name, give it a pill. We don't want to teach you the things that you could do to prevent some of these. And by the time it's all said and done, you're on 17 different prescription medications that all could have been prevented with not. And there are definitely cases out there, right? But there's so many things that people are on medication for that are doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
You should be medicated.
It could be fixed with a little bit of work. Maybe I am medicated.
Yeah,
maybe I am. Maybe I am. But that's. I mean, it really comes down to a little bit of proactivity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what it comes
down to.
Proactivity.
Yeah,
is that a word?
I don't know. It sounds like it could be, but it also is like I don't know if that is.
Fact check me. I don't know.
Fact check it.
Google it.
Proactivity.
It's gotta be.
Ooh. Proactivity definition and usage examples.
Urban
act, characteristic, or habit of thinking. We don't want that one. The act, characteristic, or habit of thinking and acting so as to prepare for, intervene in, or control expected events, especially negative or challenging.
Oh yeah, you didn't have to read that whole thing. I believe you.
Man, I used that perfectly. I didn't even know that was a real word, but
it can be interchanged like kind of like with initiative.
All I can think about is that medicated comment. And all I can think of here is the Step Brothers. He's like, you should be medicated. Shit. That's funny, dude. How you guys doing? Everything holding together this week for you?
Yeah, it's been a good week.
Hell yeah. It has been a good week for me too.
Yeah. It's been productive and been able to be home all week. I got a guy coming to look at the RV tomorrow, so I'm really excited about that. But I've been working on it a little bit, just kind of trying to clean it up, make sure it's all good to go. So anyway, been trying to sell that sumbug for a minute. So anyway,
you have.
Yeah, hopefully. I've been talking about it for a long time. I kind of finally bit the bullet and put it up on Facebook, a month or two ago. But it's the wrong time of year, right? Like nobody's trying to buy an
1,000%.
RV in winter.
Or maybe it's the right time of year because it'd be a better price usually.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Like, I think if you start getting to spring and summer, that price should go on up just a
way
little bit.
Up. That's exactly right. And the fact of the matter is, I just want out of the payment, right? Like we haven't made the wisest financial decisions. We think that just because you can afford it means that you should, and our kids don't rodeo as much as we thought they were going to. That first summer when Conley first started junior rodeo, and we were like, well, we're going to have 4 kids that are entered all the time, and turns out. That's just not the.
Well, you might. Maybe just not now.
That's exactly right. We might, but at this stage of life, an RV payment is completely unnecessary. So anyway, so we'll see. It's actually Mark Weber, bullfighter. He's starting to clown some rodeos and stuff, and runs production for bulls, bands, and barrels, and so he's like wants to take his family on the road, and this would be a fantastic rig for that. So
heck yeah.
So anyway,
he would use it a lot because he is gone every weekend.
Yeah, it'd be good.
You guys are gonna excuse me today. I got a cough. I got a little chest cough I've had for a couple of days that keeps sneaking up on me. I'll talk and I'll get that tickle in my throat and I'll just start coughing hard. So I apologize if I come off loud.
Cover your mouth.
Cover your mouth, man. It is the season. I haven't even been really sick this year until now, and I'm not even counting this as a sickness. Just like an annoying cough has been kind of just hanging around. But Oh, that's cool. I hope you get that thing sold, dude. That'll be a
us too.
real nice relief to have off the plate.
Yeah.
Can relate to that. Can definitely relate to that. I finally finished the garage, boys.
Nice.
Yes.
That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Yep, finally finished it. I'm gonna order some equipment from GetRx.
Sweet.
If any of the listeners don't know, we have a cool partnership with them. We do have a discount code, and we have an account link. You'd click the link and go check out all of their stuff and be able to order off there. We're going to post that in the show notes after this episode. But GetRx has some really, really cool equipment coming out. I'm getting a whole cable machine set up with a rack and pull-up bar, and it'll fit right there in the corner of the gym in the garage and not take up too much space, but super affordable. And we've got a discount code you can throw on top of it. So if you guys are interested in gym equipment for the house, make sure to check out the show notes here and hit that link and go check it out. They've got some really cool deals going on.
What cable machine did you end up going with? Or
like,
have
what do you
picked one
mean?
yet?
It's because
they have a couple different designs.
I got the dual, so one on each side.
2 stacks.
Yep, 2 stacks, and it's actually they are stacks. They're not going to be like a plate weight. It's actual stacked weight.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to adjust all the way down. But even for that, I think I was in like $2,500, $3,000 for the entire thing with the weights included. And I don't know if you guys have seen the price of dumbbells lately, but you can barely get a set of 5 to 50 for $3,000.
Well,
so
it's insanely expensive. Yeah, I got my 5 to 50s in 2017, and I bought direct, and I got it for like $750. You want to talk about an investment that was maybe one of the wiser financial decisions I've made, because they've like doubled or tripled in price since then. It's insane how expensive they are. That's going to be so.
COVID was like the.
I'm stoked, dude. It looks
COVID
good.
was the.
I don't know if I told. Sorry, guys. I don't know if I told you guys. You probably don't know what Total Archery Challenge is, and maybe you've seen it on Instagram, but it's this huge 3D archery shoot, and they do them all across the U.S. in the summer. And pretty much like if you're an archery hunter or just like to shoot a bow, you can go to them. You pay. They're usually at ski resorts in the north here, which is cool. So you ride the ski lift up, and then you shoot all the way down across the mountain. And so they'll have like a whole courses set up all over the mountain where you get to go shoot and test your shooting abilities on different 3D animals. So like sheep, mountain goats, like moose, deer, elk, like turkeys, Sasquatch, like dinosaurs. They got all kinds of cool shit. But at the end of each season, they sell all the targets that they shot up, and these targets are like top of the line, man.
Yeah.
If you buy one of them brand new, they're probably $600 to $700. And so they bunch them all together in bundles and sell them off before the beginning of the next season. So they just did that, and I ended up getting a bundle, bro. And I have a whole 3D course in the back of my yard.
That's
now.
Awesome.
That's so awesome. Cool. That's so cool.
Dope. But yeah, I ended up getting them for it was like a third of the cost per one. So it was cool.
Your house is going to end up being like a grown man's playground by the end.
Straight up.
Yeah,
by the end of the year.
That's exactly right. Hey, I'm all for it. Freaking do it while you can. We'll come out there and visit, because once you start having kids, then that stuff, well, it changes a little bit. It changes so soak it up while you can. I would say 100%. I think that's awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, the gym's gonna be freaking dope too. It'd be awesome to have that thing finished.
Be nice to have it here and just in time for it to get warm. And I love those spring and summer workouts outside, man. With the garage door open, tunes bumping, sun's out, get a little sweat going. Oh, the best.
I'm ready for it now.
Yeah.
Ready for it.
It just makes you feel so good.
I think
feeling, you're just like,
I think if we get to do it next week, I'm really excited. I had one day last week where I could open the garage door, and then now it looks like there's several days next week the forecast is looking right for it. So I'm excited to get back to it.
Yeah, it snowed 3 inches here last night, so it's all it's a pipe dream for me right now, but it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming, man. But in other news, we have some cool announcements for the Champion Living Fitness app. Goat Tying 101 is officially live. Man, I wrestled to get that thing going. God, technology is not my thing sometimes. Sometimes it's friendly, and other times it is like, what am I doing? But this is one of those times where I was struggle bussing, boys. But got to figure it out. It's cool. It's really cool. Got some great demo videos on there. The girls put this together: Libby, Natasha, Katie, Meg, and it is fire. It is a great starting place for any girl that is getting into goat tying or is currently goat tying, especially if you've never worked out before. This is somewhere that you can start and learn and see progress instantly. And if you're a seasoned vet, you've been doing this a long time, maybe you haven't worked out a lot, this is a great introduction to exercise. It's only going to help you in the arena. I did not realize, I realized that girls wreck out in goat tying, but I did not realize how often and how gnarly the wrecks can be.
Dude.
Yeah.
And so ever since working with Stacy Martin in this next level goat tying clinic, I've been getting lots of videos of wrecks mostly, and then some like under 6-second runs, which still boggles my mind how that can happen. That's so fast. And the fact that she says the way the competition's going, you're going to have to be under 6 to even be top 10 eventually. Like, it's going to get insane. But some of these wrecks are just insane. These girls are like rough stock riders in the way they get, pardon my French, they get shit whipped, dude. I'm talking about full on scorpion. And
dude, yeah, knee injuries are like commonplace.
it
Like,
makes so much sense though. And when I was thinking about this, I had a meeting with her in their mastermind group they have, and I was talking with her, and it all just became really clear to me. We were talking about ACL injuries and girls being like 12, 13, 14, having an ACL replaced, 15, 16, 17, sometimes having a second ACL replaced, mostly on the same knee. But these girls are competing at such a high level, and there's so much force and gravity being applied to getting off that horse. And not to mention, you're hitting on uneven ground. So you're not like you're hitting like a flat surface, you're hitting dirt that's in an arena. So, and then you're having to absorb all of that speed and decelerate, accelerate, change direction in accordance to the goat. But they're in their peak height velocity through a lot of this. Like, they are growing, their growth plates are open, things are changing every day. And so, not to mention the changes, their body's different every day at a certain point. They're being able to coordinate themselves, all of that. And then it just makes total sense why those injuries happen, especially in that age group. We
were talking about, I think it was the last episode or the one before, sometime recently, about like over specialization. And goat tying is exactly where that happens, because after a girl turns 22 years old, she's done. Like, there's no more opportunity for goat tying for her. And so, like, she has to peak around 17, 18, 19 years old, or else she doesn't really have a career in goat tying, because it's such a short window. It's like Olympic gymnastics, like you got pretty much one shot at making Olympic gymnastics, because by the time you're 25, you're quote unquote too old or older than the competition, and it only comes around every 4 years. So like you're going to fall in that window about one time. And that's kind of what I like in gymnastics too, or goat tying rather, is like this over specialization in a sport that doesn't have the longevity.
Yep.
Yeah. There is no career to be made out of it. It is 100% for love of the game in that, right?
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, it's a badass event. Like, you have to be highly talented to do that at that level, especially at these collegiate levels and all that. I think the American, what's the junior version of that?
Like the Patriot?
The Patriot, yeah.
The
And
Patriot.
I'm pretty sure they have $100,000 goat tying this year, which is pretty dang
big
cool.
money. It's big money.
So there are some opportunities arising for these younger athletes to win and set themselves up on a pretty cool stage, and maybe these girls, are breakaway ropers or barrel racers, and you win $100,000 goat tying and when you're younger, and being able to use that and set yourself up for a later career and whatever events take you, you can compete in longer. Like, I think that's smart, but the training is the biggest thing. The lack of training is the biggest thing. And especially during those ages where these girls are highly competitive and the volume of competition and practice is unreal. These girls are probably tying every day. So there's a lot of things going into it. So this program is meant to give some guidance to help anybody and everyone that's interested in goat tying get started on their physical preparation. So $19 a month. Check it out. We're going to have progressions of each of these programs coming up too. We have a couple up there for the bareback riding, but there'll be a goat tying 201 and 301 and continuing on. So make sure you guys download the app. It's free to download. Champion Living Fitness, Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Everything's there for you. I was after yesterday, or after our last episode, I called Casey because I wanted to get him on the show. And in typical Casey fashion, we talked about everything but that, and I forgot to ask him to come on. So I got to call him back. But we ended up talking about mindset and just the difference between these guys that do unreal things and the guys that have goals of doing unreal things, accomplishing huge goals that don't quite make it. And, I said, how much of that you think is between the years? And he said about 98%.
Yeah.
And, to be fair, that's about what I thought too. I mean, we've all kind of come to realize that you can be the best, strongest, most fit guy in the world and most talented horseman. But if you don't believe that you can spur this son of a bitch, or you don't believe you can win, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
Whether you can or you can't, that's what it's going to be, whatever you think is going to happen. So today I thought it'd be a really good idea to talk about some, key characteristics that these elite level athletes have that accomplish 7-time world championship type things, and I don't think these are going to be things people haven't heard before. I know that for a fact. It's going to be the fact that these people do these things every single day with everything that they do. And they're true to it. They trust the process and they do it. So if you guys are good with that, I think we should bust out a couple quality traits that we see in these kind of athletes. And, the first thing, especially when I think about Casey, is discipline. That guy is so disciplined in everything he did, especially when he was riding bucking horses. He had his entire day planned out, from his workout time to his skill specific time to the rest of his life, family, kids, horses, he's running a hay operation and stuff, cows. He's got a lot of things going on. But he is consistently practicing the fundamentals perfectly. And my favorite part about his process, from what he's told me, was, you'd set aside about 2 hours a day to think about bareback riding. And that was it. After that, there was no more bareback riding. There was life. And I think that is such an important thing, because that takes discipline to do. How easy is it to go down the rabbit hole, be on YouTube looking at rides all day? If that's all you think about is bareback riding, shit, by the time I get to the rodeo, I am so mentally exhausted from thinking about it all week long that I couldn't do anything. When I was rodeoing hard, when I get in those modes, dude, that was it. Overthinking 1,000%, just wearing myself out. It takes discipline to not think about it and to focus on it for those 2 hours and keep moving. It also takes a lot of mental toughness to, not only show up for yourself every day in the training, but to hold yourself back when you're not ready. If you're coming back from an injury or something like that, yeah, it's cool. You can be tough. There's a time for being tough and getting on, but there's also a time to say, hey, I may not be at 100%. Does this affect how my year ends right now, right? Competing now or not? And if I do compete and continue to hurt myself, is that going to affect my year? And I don't think we think about that very much. It takes a lot of discipline just to think about things as a business. You are the business. We talk about Natasha's. This is my favorite thing Tosh says at these clinics we do, is she works with a lot of professional baseball players. Professional pitchers will go on IR because of a blister on their finger, because it affects how the ball comes out of their hand. Dude, we start thinking about it like that. Like, in a rodeo, that guy would be called the biggest pussy ever. But that's not rodeo. That's professional sports. And that's how it should be treated. There are times to go push. If it's September 20th and you're 15th and you got 3 months coming up to rehab before you get to the finals, yes, go push. Go get through that bubble. But if you're sitting here right now in February and you're not feeling good, and you're like, I got to keep entering, I got to go Jackson, I got to San Antonio, I got to go do all this. Dude, Sit the hell down and take a break and get yourself right, because nothing happens now. You're not missing anything. I hate to tell you, I've seen Leighton Berry do this. I've seen a couple guys do this. They don't rodeo for almost an entire damn year. They haven't been to a rodeo since Odessa. And then the next one they come back to is Ellensburg, and they somehow almost make the finals in a month.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
come on.
You don't have to go right now. Like this is not the time. And in fact, I've got a couple clients that have like trusted me to help them plan kind of some rodeos and stuff. And we're right now is the time to just be dialing it in. Yeah, it is hard to do though. It is hard to have that self-control, to sit down and say, hey, okay, I'm gonna be smart about this.
Absolutely. What's Paul? What's another characteristic that you see in athletes at that level?
Yeah, well, I mean, discipline is probably the first one that we always think of, and I think what comes with that is the action behind it. So like determination. So like we're gonna talk, things like goal setting, being resilient even when things aren't going right. You could throw motivation into that category, even though it's kind of fleeting. But like, I think when it comes down to what's going to keep you on track long term, it is just the determination to not quit. And so goal setting is probably the number one tool to use when we're talking about determination, because it's what's going to keep the goal in sight, even when it feels like the goal is not even like within reach. You know what I mean? When things start to get hard, if you have a good goal setting strategy, if you have your end goal and you have a plan to get there, and you're executing your plan, even if things aren't going right in your performance, but you're still executing your plan, you can at least rest assured that now it's just a time thing. Like if we apply this over a long enough timeline, it's going to come to fruition. So I think like just having that quality of being able to detach yourself from the emotions of the outcome and just continuing to grind. Like that's you see that in everybody that ever does anything in life, business, sports. They have that quality.
Absolutely, man. That's so important. Trust in the process. That's so easy to, Logan calls it squirreling, but go thing to thing, when you get not in a bind, but you're just wanting to go to a different place. You're trying to hit a new goal. Things are not going as quickly as you'd like. It's really easy to go to that next thing and abandon what you're doing. And a lot of the times you just need to continue to be patient and keep doing what you're doing.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's the other part of all this. You've got discipline and determination that you guys have talked about, but I mean, you have to persevere. You have to be faithful. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be steadfast. You have to be willing to. And this is where, this is probably in my mind anyway, one of the hardest ones to master, right? Because without hardships, you can't master the art of perseverance, right? Like that's what perseverance is. It's going through these hardships. So, things can be going well when you start out, but you get through that first riding slump or you get through, the first big argument as a married couple or whatever it might be, right? Like this is what is going to build that perseverance. And so part of perseverance is going to be endurance. You have to be able to endure some hard times physically and mentally as a rodeo athlete. I mean, you don't have a choice, right? Like if you're going to make it, the guys that go to the NFR every year are these guys that are able to go be 65 on Thursday and 88 on the next day, right? They can persevere through maybe not performing to the best of their abilities. They can bounce right back. That endurance is such a huge part of it. And then being moldable, right? Flexible, being able to adapt to different situations. I mean, having the capacity to adapt to these changing circumstances. I mean, every rodeo that you go to as a rodeo athlete, every rodeo you go to is different, right? You got different horses. Judges are different, weather conditions, indoor, outdoor, all the things that can possibly, all the variables can change. And so you have to be able to roll with the punches. Nobody makes the NFR only riding hoppers. If you do, I would go.
I would go
Right?
too.
Right. Yeah, but like
Me
you
too.
have to be able to you have to be adaptable, and you have to be able to ride stronger horses. You have to ride horses that are long in a way. You have to ride horses that stack it up right there. Like this is just the rodeo example, but in life, like you've got to be able to be somewhat moldable and flexible if you are going to persevere through the hard times. And the last thing that I think of when I think of like steadfastness or perseverance is got to be like there's not really a scientific word for it. You got to have grit.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you've just got to be willing to grit your teeth and freaking suck your hat down and go again, right? And like so often we see this picture. Everybody's seen the meme of like it's like this "don't quit," and it's a person digging a tunnel and they're like close to the treasure, and then they've like turned around and if they would have just kept digging, but that's it, right? Like you literally have to keep headbutting the wall. And we like headbutt the wall a little bit, and we're like, that hurts. I think I'm gonna stop. Maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Right. And then you like headbutt it a little bit more. Like the next guy headbutts it a little bit more and he's bleeding now. Right. And he's like, oh, okay, that's enough. But the guy that will just keep getting after it, keep hammering day in and day out. Like they're passionate about what they're doing. They obviously have the discipline, the determination. Like if they can develop this perseverance through those times, when everybody else around them is quitting, everybody else would say, hey, you're dumb, don't do that. Like, hey, it's time for you to hang it up, it's time for you to move on. If you can persevere through those things, that's when you'll level up. So I think perseverance is a huge part of seeing elite success in anything you're doing.
Absolutely. You talked about that guy being 68 one day and 88 the next day. That's all about the focus of that person. And I think that goes for any kind of event in rodeo, whether you're running barrels or tying calves. You're going to have those runs that aren't great. But what makes someone great and makes someone mediocre is that someone that is great stays focused on the task at hand. They know that the fundamentals, the process will get them to where they want to go, and they don't start second guessing themselves. They also are, you get to the certain level, they're really, really paying attention to these small things, picking up small mistakes they could fix, focusing on the little things that are making the big differences. So being focused is going to be a huge part of that. And Logan, you kind of touched on this last thing we were talking about, but being passionate. You got to love what you're doing, or else you're never going to be able to embrace the suck. You're never going to be able to push through those hard times of adversity if you're not passionate about what you're doing, if you don't love what you're doing. And at the end of the day, if you're doing it because you love it, the money will follow. If you're doing it because all you want to do is make money, you really don't like it, it never will work. So you've got to be real with yourself on that aspect of it. But man, those 5 things, they're nothing new. They're
It's
been
probably a
around
little
forever.
underwhelming for people.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it's
really
like,
is.
oh,
But
that's not. I was hoping for a secret. Well,
the secret
the
is you
secret
got
is
to
the
do
boring
it.
stuff.
But
Yeah.
Do it.
how often is that everything in life, right? Like we're always looking for a shortcut. We're always in everything, whether it's in marriage or parenting or training, weight loss, like rodeo, your job. It's like it's A, B, and C. You know what I'm saying? But we always are like, no, it can't be that. It has to be more. There has
That's
to
the
be more
thing.
to it.
No, that's too easy. Can't be it.
But
Nope.
we just have to like just keep focusing on the basics if you want to succeed, whether no matter what it is in your life. It's much simpler than we make it.
Yep. It's the boring stuff applied over a long enough timeline is what gets you there.
Yeah, that's it. It gets monotonous, but that's the sauce. Do the shit. Do it over and over. Be consistent about it. I get this all the time at the gym. How do you look like that? I've done this every day, every week for the last like 10 years. Nothing crazy, man. You see me leave here, I'm not here longer than an hour. Sometimes I'm not even sweating. But over and over and over, it works. And that goes for anything. You just got to be consistent. It's easy. Yep. Sometimes it's boring. That's the problem, is everyone thinks this boring shit is like, oh, no, that's too easy. Talk about breath work that a few episodes back with Patrick. And that was like, we're telling you that you could cure your anxiety with this. Nah, no way. No, I don't believe that. You can increase your physical performance with breath work. No, that's too easy. That won't work.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's crazy. So use the free resources. And the free resources, all the things you already know, you just got to actually do them. You have to do the thing. No, that's cool. It's just a fact, man. Hey, we got to thank some sponsors here. None of this would be possible without them. Beastmaster, been with us since the beginning. They're, again, revolutionizing the game when it comes to rodeo gear. Check them out, beastmasterrodeo.com. Use our discount code championliving24, all one word and numbers, if that makes sense, but not case sensitive. Going to save you 10% on all their products. Hui, we're always rocking Hui, man. They just dropped their new spring line of lids and swag, shirts, everything. Check them out. Get your Hui.com. Use our discount code championliving, all one word. And Colorado Craft Beef. Whoo, I'm loving their beef sticks. We just had one of their steaks for Valentine's Day last night. It's so good. Best beef around. U.S. beef. Support U.S. ranchers. ColoradoCraftBeef.com. Discount code championliving, all one word. Going to save you 10% on all of their goods. Can't beat it. 21-day dry age U.S. beef. Nothing better. Guys, until next time, we'll catch you later.